All right. Yeah, that was great. Really good execution level, considering the messaging that's been coming from the staff to the players and the areas that we really needed to focus on moving forward, not just for this match, collectively for the rest of the season, was the side-out game, which you hear me talk a lot about in here. It encompasses quite a bit. Serve, receive, obviously the offense you're running, the matchups you're getting. But that was outstanding. Over 70% side out in each of those sets, coupled with great defense. I know Houston's numbers improved in that third set, but I just thought throughout we were able to create some good transition opportunities, but it was the consistency in the side out game that allowed our girls to play free, confident. I was really, really pleased.
Coach, what is it? How impressed are you guys with this team now, defending the home court once again after the loss against Texas Tech?
Yeah, well, the girls are tough and they're open to hearing sometimes some hard truths about what our weaknesses are and where we need to improve and what we need to do to get there. And I'm just really appreciative of the effort they're putting in those moments. And we needed to get better after what Utah was able to do to us and pushed us around that whole match. So the response in practice translated to the response you saw here tonight. There was a bunch of tremendous individual performances I also wanted to highlight. This is a new lineup for us with Reagan moving to the left. I thought Abby set extremely well. Decision-making, location, and that was pretty evident even within the first 10 points. You could tell she was in a really good groove. And I thought Lexi's bounce back from Utah to this match was outstanding too, considering that's a freshman.
I want to talk about the first set. Houston only scored 13 points, and I'm trying to confirm this, but I think that's the least amount of points scored in a conference game in the past 2 seasons. Tell me about that and what you think played into that.
Well, we were terminating the ball quickly, which is important. It's not going to give them many opportunities to score. We were doing so efficiently, which is also going to be really important. But our defense, when we are playing at our highest level, has been the most consistent element of our game. And so we want to lean into that, and you saw that first and second set. I think that, again, Houston improved from that standpoint into the third, but I think we had kind of set ourselves apart in those 2 sets to make it easier for us.
You talked about Lexi. It's been a while now since she's had to take on the full-time libero duties. How has she matured thus far into that role, and how different is she a player?
Well, I tell you where I think maturation comes. She got pulled against Utah going into the third set, and we had some discussions upon our arrival back here about the reasoning why, the things that could be improved so that those things don't happen again. And she was really honest in her own assessment, not just listening to a coach's perspective, and I wanted to hear her assessment. And she didn't live up to her standards, and I think it was more about preparation, not just I didn't pass the ball well. So to have a player that can speak openly and honestly at any age, but as a freshman, and talk to you about the things that she's prepared to do to make sure it doesn't happen again, shows a lot of maturity.
RPI sitting at 66 right now. Be a little bit of an uphill battle to make the postseason, but looking at the schedule, plenty of opportunity. Yeah. What's your message to the team about the rest of the season?
I mean, we got to take care of the next match in front of us. And Iowa State, what a great opportunity on our home court. They're a top 25 team that can play with anybody in the country. And so it's going to be a challenge. But if we can take some of the lessons from tonight and carry that over, though, we can pressure those teams. It is, their strength is that they're consistent in all phases, but we have some elements that can cause problems. We saw that against BYU. You saw it here tonight. So we're just going to do the best we can to prepare for a very difficult and talented opponent. But the messaging is we are playing every one of these matches to put ourselves in a position to be in the conversation for postseason play.
Time for 1 or 2 more.
I want to ask about that BYU game because it ended up being one of the more notable wins in UCF program history because they haven't beaten ranked opponents on the road very, very much. Given the point swing on service and then on attacks, just what was that like out there to be playing them on their court?
It was a great environment. I think those moments are probably, the older I get, the most rewarding moments that a coach has is being able to watch your team celebrate something like that, an accomplishment, a feat that they knew was significant. And they played so well to see them earn it, come back in a couple sets where it could have gotten out of hand and out of reach, and they just persevered. So to be able to soak that in from my vantage point, I know how hard what it is they do, so the reward is always going to be the most rewarding from my seat.
It's your first season here. Coming in, did you know anything about the space, you and Citronauts?
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
I love it.
What have you seen
Yeah.
so far?
No, I love it, and I love the creativity that goes into it. I love the passion of the fans, and the group of people like Alex and his staff that put so much effort into this. Our players absolutely love it. So I watched from afar, and I'm glad that we could contribute to the space game from our end, and looking forward to Friday night with the football team to support them. So but it's been a lot of fun. Love the colors too. Yeah.
The multiple different shades.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it.